Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Already March. Quick little summary here about how February went and how last week's trading was. Last week again, guys, we were not good at all. A bunch of red losing days, a bunch of max losses, but not me being impatient, me not being disciplined, and execution was poorly. Not taking the right levels, not taking the right setups, not waiting the way I should after once I took a loss. Um, a lot of stuff just stacking on top of each other causes for bad days here in trading. For the month of March, we're going to make sure we focus on this. This is the number one thing we're going to be focused on. We're not worried about the wins and losses. We're 100% going to focus on the process, right? We're going to make sure we wait for our levels. We're going to make sure we're patient. We're going to make sure we're disciplined. And we're going to make sure once we get these levels, once we get these setups, that we're going to execute 100%. We're going to make sure we take the right stop loss. We're going to take the right take profits. And we're not gonna dilly daddle in the middle and lower our win percentage. I back tested this weekend and the month of February, and the whole month of February, there was not one week that was negative. And for me, I had a ton of negative max losing weeks in the month of February. So that tells you a lot about my patience, my discipline, and my execution. And in March, we're going to make sure we focus on that and try to fix it going forward, okay? So we'll take a look at these levels here and see what's going on and any setups we might take. All right, guys, here we are on the charts. Quick little breakdown here. I'll go ahead and give you guys my key levels that I'm looking at and any potential setups here for me. Again, we are here on the hourly, ES on the left side, NQ on the right. Session low, the day low here is marked on ES at 950. The high is 6,000. NQ, same thing. Low of the session is down here at 837, and the high is 119. We have a couple hourly pivots here. Price is coming down to 888, and then another one down here towards 837. On the 4 hour, if you go in the 4 hour, this is a nice size gap here, a bullish gap. If price wants to come down here, sweep the hourly, and then tap into this 4 hour gap, I'll be very inclined to take a positive bounce here and a long setup. Again with NQ or ES, same gap here on the 4 hour. So if price wants to come down here, sweep the hourly and tap into this 4 hour gap, then I'll be very inclined for a possible setup here. We do have some news coming up here around 7 a.m. So we're going to be a little patient here, wait for that to happen, and we'll see what possible setups we have. I'll update you guys in a bit. All right, guys, here we are back on the charts. Like I said earlier, I am focused on the process this week, this month, today, going forward. Wanted to show you guys an update to one of my rules. I am no longer looking at the 30-second chart because just too much stuff going on. But if you look here, price gave a ton of valid setups here on the 30-second. So you see this nice gap that led to the low of day. A nice 10-point gap here. Price closed above, boom. You get the close above. You get the move a little bit higher, but never what came up tap my plus 2R, and then would have came down, taking you out for a full loser. So that would have been one trade we skipped, thankfully. And here we are. There was a second one. All right, and if you come over to the 1 minute, there's another valid setup that occurred here. How many points is this gap? Another 10-point gap. The 1 minute closed above, gave a reaction up, but price came down here, closed below the gap, and would have been another loser. So that would have been minus 2R already. And I didn't take the 1 minute because price was just too far removed from where the bottom was, the level was. So that's a 100-point move. If I'm expecting price to go another 50-point move or another 50 points, that's kind of asking a lot of this market. And for the most part, it usually doesn't happen. So I'm staying patient, I'm staying disciplined. I'm seeing that my patience, my discipline pays off by not taking bad trades, by not taking losers. And that's motivation for me to make sure I wait for the next one and I execute on the next one, right? All right, guys, here we are. Possible NQ setup. If we get this closed below, boom. We are in NQ. Go ahead and move our... I'll go ahead and explain this one here in a bit. All right, guys, here we are. So again, price came all the way down here early in the morning, tapped into this 4 hour gap, gave that clean reaction we were waiting for earlier. Unfortunately, no setups for me to be able to jump into. Then price came down here after creating a new session low, tapped into the 50% retracement, which usually gives another nice little rejection or bounce. Price created a nice 1 minute gap here on the And once price decided to close below, I'm thinking, okay, sellers are in the market, possible sell-off here, possible rejection back to the downside, and I entered the trade. So here we are. We're currently in this setup. We'll wait and see how this wants to play out. If it wants to stop me out, great. If it wants to go in my favor, great. I do not control the outcome, but I do control the process. So we'll be here. We'll wait and see, and I'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys, here we are. Solid trade here. Again, price closed below the 1 minute gap that was created, imbalance here. The following 1 minute, price went against me here for a little bit, but it never closed above this gap. So the trade is still valid. Price came down, chopped around a little bit, and then just right now came down, tapped me out for a full +2R winner. Solid trade here. What I've noticed in my emotions after a winning trade, I kind of tend to get on my high horse a little bit, tend to tell myself I did good, I followed the right steps, I followed the right process, that the next trade should be a winner if I do the exact same thing. But what I'm noticing is that being too excited, being too energetic, and trusting that what I did caused this win is the wrong response. So what I have to do here is just tell myself that the probabilities worked out in my favor this time. The next one, it might not be as good. I might wait for the right setups, be patient and be disciplined, and it might not work the same way. So I need to tell myself that in my mind. So even though it's a good process, it might still be a loser, right? So I don't get too excited, I don't get overzealous, and then I don't get angry, I don't get upset. So solid trade. It just happened to work out in my favor this time, probabilities, and we'll wait for the next one, see if we can take anything. All right, guys, here we are in the charts again. It's 11 o'clock. Haven't taken a trade since my last morning setup. Not much going on in the charts here for me, as you guys could tell. When I took the trade, price worked in my favor there, and now it's just kind of chopping around in the range. I don't like to ditto in the middle. Don't like to take trades in the range, so not much going on here for me. I was interested in the long here, as you guys could see on the hourly. Price came and swept or went below my line here, which is the session low. Once price came down there, tapped into another gap here on NQ and another hourly gap here on ES that you guys can see price kind of came down here and tapped into. So I did want a long. There was no valid setups close to where my pivot area was. This one right here, this is a 1 minute gap. That was a valid setup. But unfortunately, as you guys can see here, price was 85 points removed away from there. So I kind of stopped taking setups that are that far removed from my pivot area because the probabilities for that just aren't in my favor. As you guys can see here, this took the close above. So this was a valid entry. This was a valid trade. Closed above, and then price came down here, closed below, which would have taken me out for a full -1R loser. And glad I stuck to my rules and didn't take that setup. But now nothing much here going on. If you look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour just kind of closed right through this 4 hour gap that we had earlier. So now I'm expecting price to pull back a little bit and potentially keep on selling off here. So that's what I'll be looking for. If price could come back up and touch into my 50% retracement level again, I'll be super interested in a short, and we'll see what we can take. I'm not going to force anything. I'm currently up +2R on the day, so not looking to force and not trying to lower the profits I have in the account right now. So we'll be super patient. If anything presents itself, we have 2 hours left in the market, and I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, here we are back on the charts. I just want to give you guys a quick summary. No trades for me in the afternoon session. It's 12:47. I'm calling it a day here. Closing down the charts. Kind of been watching from a distance here because it's just prices just been selling off here. Pretty decent sell-off from the morning. From the start of the morning, it's been 800 points from the climb. So nothing much here for me to do. As you guys could see, it's just been a steady decline. No pivots have been broken. Pivot came here, but sold right off. Another pivot was here, sold right through it. This is a daily pivot. It tapped into it, but as you guys know, it's 12:47. Market on closing balance is about to come out, so there's nothing for me to do here. On ES, same thing. Price came down, gave that initial reaction, kind of just chopped here for a little bit. News came out around here. I had my session low that I talked about earlier, but it just sold through all of this. Sold through it. No other levels for me here other than this ES pivot down here and a daily pivot down here. Not much for me to do. So today was a good day. I was super patient, super disciplined. Executed that one setup I got, and thankfully we were able to get a +2R out of it. And we live to fight another day. So the evals are doing decent. My footed futures. And we'll just keep. We'll come back tomorrow. Try to follow the same process. Make sure we're process focused, not results oriented. And hopefully we have another good day tomorrow. So I'll catch you guys on another one. Have a good one. Peace.